But we begin tonight with a tale of two speeches, both from the same man, both from President Obama. One speech that could have been billed as a ballad to the Constitution, a proclamation of American values, a repudiation of the lawless behavior of the last presidential administration, and another speech announcing a radical new claim of presidential power that is not afforded by the Constitution and that has never been attempted in American history, even by George W. Bush and Dick Cheney. Remarkably, President Obama today made both of those speeches simultaneously. Standing inside the National Archives in front of the actual original Constitution, President Obama delivered a blistering critique of the Bush administration, in which he called their actions and their legacy literally a mess.
Our government made a series of hasty decisions. Poorly planned, haphazard approach. Too often, we set those principles aside as luxuries that we could no longer afford. Our government made decisions based on fear rather than foresight. The decisions that were made over the last 8 years established an ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism that was neither effective nor sustainable.
An ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism that was neither effective nor sustainable. Ouch. Then, moments later, he announced his own.
I'm going to make this right here, but I'm not going to say anything because I'm really tired of just talking, because all I do is mention the same stuff over and over. But I just want you guys to understand that all this shit they're building, that I'm going to show you in this segment I'm going to put together right now, this is what I've been telling you about these white men can't get out of the paradigm of evil perpetuation. They're planning on murdering mass citizens here in America, regardless to your nationality, of whether you're Puerto Rican, Mexican, or white, or whatever. The plan is to kill a large population of us off so they can receive money from people that's coming from abroad to occupy this soil. They can't receive the funding for the soil if people are still on the soil. That's the reason why they're already eradicating Detroit. The ideal is to kill everybody in that city. Everybody in that city, whites, blacks, everything. Mexicans, they want this soil over here so they can sell it to wealthy people abroad. These concentration camps that they're setting up, I'm going to show you how many they know about. I'm going to show you how big and how large this is while everyone sleep. Okay, these bastards know that these light ships are here to kill them for all the horrible shit they've done already. But they are so tunnel vision, even though they know that God is here and watching them and obviously ready to deal with them, they can't get out of these vibrations. So they still going on with full stern ahead, even though they know they should be trying to abort. They can't abort because they are so excited about murdering large amounts of people. And this guy right here is just a scapegoat. That's all he is a scapegoat. All right, but he got to go along with it, even though he know everything is busted and out of the water, he can't do anything now but go along with the plan that he's been paid for. All of them ain't nothing but crooks, thieves in the suit and tie, murderers is all they are. And you know yourself, when I try to shut my mouth and not expose the government tactics and try to overlook the fact that you in there and be silent, that makes me be a hypocrite. So it is what it is.
His own ad hoc legal approach for fighting terrorism. President Obama today proposed something new, something called prolonged detention. Doesn't sound that bad, right? Prolonged detention.
It is. If you're the person that's prolonged
Did you ever see the movie Minority Report?
Detention hall.
It was based on a Philip K. Dick short story. It came out in 2002. It starred Tom Cruise, remember? He played a police officer in something called the Department of Pre-Crime. Pre-crime is where people are arrested and incarcerated to prevent crimes that they have not yet committed.
Mr. Marks, I'm mandated the District of Columbia Pre-Crime Division. I'm placing you under arrest for the future murder of Sarah Marks and Donald Dubinow to take place today, April 22nd, at 0800 hours and 4 minutes. No, I didn't do anything.
You didn't do anything, but you're gonna. Future murder. Creepy, right? Putting somebody in jail not for what they've done, but for what you're very sure they're going to do?
There may be a number of people who cannot be prosecuted for past crimes.
Profiling.
In some cases because evidence may be tainted.
That's profiling.
But who nonetheless pose a threat to the security of the United States.
We're not prosecuting them for...
Okay, I said I was going to be quiet, but I will say one more thing. A person who would pose a threat to the security of the United States will be someone who does not live up to their oath that they took when they were coming into office. Now, if you are guilty of making detention centers where you're going to lock people up that have not been found guilty of any crime, just because you said, okay, well, we know they did this crime, but we can't prosecute them because the evidence is tainted. Oh, well, but since we can't get them on this, we're going to do an OJ move on their ass and find another way to lock them up. No, you can't do that. That's a criminal act. And when you have concentration camps built all around your country that you premeditated and decided before the fact of all the crimes you were going to build, you can't go back in history after you built the concentration camps and say, oh, we built these concentration camps because of these criminals that we were not able to prosecute. And we still haven't prosecuted them, but we still have them in jail. So our solution to this problem is we built huge amounts of concentration camps. Come on, we all know these bastards are criminals, and they want to rid the soil of the people here through killing us in those concentration camps so other people can come here and live the American dream that we never got a chance to live. And know this for a fact. If it's something that you smell in your house dead and you don't find it, does that mean that something dead is not in your house? Of course not, because you can smell the death. So we can all smell the death. Alright? So it's time to look for the carcass. It's just that simple.
Past crimes, but we need to keep them in prison because of our expectation of their future crimes.
That's right, that's some bullshit.
Al-Qaeda terrorists and their affiliates are at war with the United States, and those that we capture, like other prisoners of war, must be prevented from attacking us again.
Prevented. We will incarcerate people preventively. Preventive incarceration. Indefinite detention without trial. That's what this is. That's what President Obama proposed today, if you strip away the euphemisms. One civil liberties advocate told the New York Times today, quote, "We've known this was on the horizon for many years, but we were able to hold it off with George Bush."
Bullshit.
The idea that we might find ourselves fighting with the Obama administration over these powers is really...
You know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. They're not going to sit up here and try to push all this horrible shit is happening now that the black man got in office. Bullshit. It's always been happening. They just got concentration camps here in America now. They've always had concentration camps all over Afghanistan, all over Iraq. We saw pictures of those soldiers humiliating those damn Iraqi people over there. The girls taking pictures of them men stripped butt naked and all that. So don't try to make it seem like America all of a sudden got bad and without morals because we put a black president in there. America has always been fucked up. As long as that flag has been flying over this country, it's been there because somebody's life had been stolen and that privilege is denied on this soil. The nerve of you to come here 500 years ago and commit mass murder to all the native people of this soil, and then now all of a sudden the idea that we might find ourselves fighting with the Obama administration over these powers is really stunning. Your ass has been fighting with everyone forever and a day. That is your freaking trademark. Is freaking dissension and opposition and aggression. So don't try to make Obama be Mr. Badass, okay, even worse than George Bush. We know for a fact what's bad is your albinism that makes you want to go around the world and murder everything, white or black or whatever, it don't matter. But your preferred people to kill is your melanated people. So don't try to blame it on Barack Obama. Barack Obama ain't nothing but a fucking puppet for those cracker-ass white men that you always see standing behind him who elected him into office. The same bastards you're going to see trying to back up Hillary Clinton when her ass run for presidency. So get over the bullshit trying to blame it on the black man. We all know it's them crooked-ass white, Capitol Hill, Congress, House of Representatives, all them white motherfuckers are the ones who built those concentration camps. So don't try to make Obama take the fall. Because I'm quite sure if there's anyone in there that has any ounce of morality about themselves, it's him.
Stunning. And it is stunning, particularly to hear President Obama claim the power to keep people in prison indefinitely with no charges against them, no conviction, no sentence, just imprisonment.
You need to put George Bush ass in there.
It's particularly stunning to hear him make that claim in the middle of a speech that was all about the rule of law.
But we must do so with an abiding confidence in the rule of law. Our government was defending positions that undermine the rule of law to ensure that they are in line with the rule of law.
What law? Y'all undivine ass laws, the same laws that's in the book with your slavery, okay, proposal that you passed and murdered and enslaved. Nobody cares about your freaking laws because your laws are undivine. They are corrupt corporation policies that make the need for concentration camps to be built. So don't say nothing about no laws when you already broke a law, when you done locked somebody up and you haven't found them guilty of anything.
How can a president speak the kind of poetry that President Obama does about the rule of law and call for the power to indefinitely, preventively imprison people because they might commit crimes in the future? How can those two things coexist in the same?
It's called America. See, let me explain to you how it goes. You guys see somebody walking down the street and you suspect that they did something, okay? But they didn't do anything. You just suspect that they did. So what you do is you put handcuffs on them and you take them to jail and you put them in jail while you're building your case against them. Oh, but wait, you can get out of jail if you have money to pay to get out. But if you don't have money to pay to get out, we're just going to leave you in there while you go through court. And but wait, let me show you how good and fair we are. Because if you're locked up in the county jail for 2 years and then we find out that you're not guilty and you didn't do it, we let you go free. And regardless to whether your wife divorced you in those 2 years or you lost your job or you got raped while you was in jail, that's not our problem, see? Because we don't care about all that. The only thing we care about is making a profit. And we have a judicial system that allows us to take money from taxpayers for every person that we lock up. So we lock up a lot of niggas because we made them be poor and we made them be profiled and targeted for the people that we make money off of incarcerating. So now that we got the detention centers built, because we plan on killing all these same niggas, I'm just blowing smoke up your ass talking this bullshit about terrorists, detainee and all that, because if that's all we wanted, we could have built these detainee camps, all kind of different places closer to where our terrorists come from than in Ohio and Illinois, which just happen to be in the most highly populated areas by melanated people. So we know what you're up to. Don't think we don't.
Man, even in the same speech. Well, that brings us to the self-consciously awkward, embarrassing part of this speech today. After condemning the Bush administration for what he called their ad hoc legal strategy for trying to make things seem legal that patently weren't, this is what President Obama proposed.
My administration has begun to reshape the standards that apply to ensure that they are in line with the rule of law. We must have clear, defensible, and lawful standards for those who fall into this category. We must have a thorough process of periodic review so that any prolonged detention is carefully evaluated and justified. Our goal is to construct a legitimate legal framework for the remaining Guantanamo detainees that cannot be transferred. Our goal is not to avoid a legitimate legal framework. In our constitutional system, prolonged detention should not be the decision of any one man. If and when we determine that the United States must hold individuals to keep them from carrying out an act of war, we will do so within a system that involves judicial and congressional oversight. And so going forward, my administration will work with Congress to develop an appropriate legal regime so that our efforts are consistent with our values and our Constitution.
You'll construct a legal regime to make indefinite detention legal. You will, what does he say? Develop an appropriate legal regime. So you can construct a whole new system outside the courts, even outside the military commissions, so that you can indefinitely imprison people without charges. And
okay, what that means is he's going to open him a private army. That's what it means.